Yeah, that was back in 1994, 6 years ago, in Latvia, in Riga. That's the capital city of this itty bitty tiny little country on the coast of Baltic Sea. And that's where I was born, and that's where I spent majority of my lifetime. So it was the very beginning of July, and at the age of 3, I was baptized. And the funny thing is that although religion holds a very dear place in my heart, the thing that I really remember about that day, and probably about the age of 3 altogether, was that dress. And I remember it so very vividly how we were leaving the apartment to go to the church, and we were going down the stairs, and my mom stopped me to kind of like make the final adjustments, and she just really wanted to make sure that everything was perfect. One of those kind of moments. And while she was doing whatever she was doing, I was kind of fiddling with the dress. And that's where I remember that it was white and blue and puffy with beautiful red ribbon roses on it, and then the bow. I had the biggest bow in my hair, and the whole thing made me just feel so very special, and as a result, one of the most amazing memories of my childhood. And I guess it's about time to tell you that, of course, that dress was handmade. My mom made that dress for me for a special day in my life. Now, back to 2020. My mom and I were just talking the other day over Skype, maybe like a week and a half ago. And since it's that time of the year, I asked my mom to go down the memory lane and tell me a little bit about that dress. And you know what? I'm surprised at myself that I never actually asked her. I knew that the dress was handmade. I knew that there was some sort of story behind it, but the conversation kind of never really went that way. But I think now that I have a child of my own, I think that kind of prompted me to ask her. And I was so surprised by the things that she told me, and by the things that I, as a 3-year-old, and of course I was 3, did not understand or did not see, because that dress really acted as a bubble, as a shield from all the other things that were happening in the country. And times were rough, times were really difficult, and it was post-Soviet Union era, and you couldn't really find too many things in the shops to begin with, not even talking about beautiful dresses for any occasion. And my mom said that the top of the dress was made from the fabric that my grandmother bought for my crib sheets. And my mom said that the weave of the fabric was so rough that she had to find a special spot where she could cut out the bodice, so that way those little rough spots wouldn't show on the bodice of the dress. And then the bottom of the dress was made from her prom dress. And I asked her if she still has pictures from her prom night, and sadly she doesn't. But I think it's really safe to assume that the prom dress was white and blue. And when I asked her about the red roses, she said, "Oh my, that was hideous. Those roses were hideous. I used some leftover satin ribbon or satin sash or something." And she's like, "I just literally made some roses and put them on to make this dress look like something." And then I said, "Mom, that dress was just fantastic. It was just so beautiful." It literally made my childhood. And I guess a good question to ask right now would be, why am I telling you all of this? And here, I really want you to know that I'm sharing this very dear and personal memory of my childhood with you, because I truly want you to understand that sewing is so much more than just that. It is so much more than just creating a garment or sharing it on social media or buying a fabric or picking up a new pattern. All of these things matter, of course. But really, in the essence, there is a bigger why behind why do we sew. And I know that for my parents, that why was care and dedication and creativity. And it anchored so strongly in my mind of a 3-year-old child that I carried that memory throughout my whole life. And I don't know, maybe that's the reason why I sew right now. And maybe that's the reason I made my own wedding dress 5 years ago. For me, the why behind I sew, the biggest why. And we're not talking about saving money with sewing or, having fun or this is how I relax. We're talking about things that really push you, those things that really motivate you to go and do it. And for me, it's because sewing is how I care for people around me. I love to make things as gifts, but when I make something for my husband and I get that approval nod from him, that's when my heart makes a little jump. When I make something for my little baby girl and she really likes it, that's when my heart makes another little jump. And when I make something that really makes the memory, like the wedding dress or my baby's first outfit or little things like that, those are the things that you're going to remember years and years down the road. And for example, just the other day, I read a comment underneath one of my videos, and the comment said something along the lines that, Alisa, me and my granddaughter watching your tutorial, and she is drafting her own pattern, and I was in the background, directing her. And, in my mind, I already imagined that 15 years down the road as such a great, strong memory of a bonding time between a grandchild and a grandmother, connecting over something creative that they will both remember time and time again. And next time, when you have a seam to rip or a pattern to rework, or maybe you need a moment that would really push you through with your sewing, remember the bigger why. Find the bigger why you sew, and that will truly be your little push to keep on sewing and keep on creating beautiful and thoughtful things. Thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate you, and I will see you next time. Bye.